Hi everybody, this is Crystal here at the Fibromyalgia Pain Chronicles, and it is the month of September 2018, and as many of you all know, the month of September is Chronic Pain Awareness Month, and in this video, I am going to share with you all my chronic pain journey. My journey started with chronic pain going back to starting in March of 2000 while I was on active duty in the United States Army down in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And in March of 2000, I sustained a right knee injury that warranted surgery. And so 3 months later, in July of 2000, I had knee surgery to fix my knee. And things were going well post surgery until about the 5th week after surgery in August of 2000, I was in a military vehicle that they call either a deuce and a half or a cattle car. And what it is a 2.5 ton, that's right, T-O-N, ton, flatbed truck. And I was a passenger in this 2.5 ton truck 5 weeks after having knee surgery, and it crashed. And I was thrown around like a rag doll. And subsequently, I sustained a whole litany of other injuries. My right knee that I had surgery on was re-injured. My left knee was re-injured, both my hips. I had injury to my back and my neck. And at the time, my right leg swelled so bad. I had to go to the Army hospital emergency room, and they literally had to cut off my military fatigues off my leg because that's how swollen my leg was. And the treating physician in the ER determined that he thought I had a blood clot that I had sustained from having knee surgery 5 weeks prior, completely, dismissing the fact that I was just thrown around in a military vehicle that weighed 2.5 tons. Oh yeah. So they hospitalized me, and the treating physician decided to prescribe and treat me with injections of blood thinners. And I was receiving injections of blood thinners for 3 times a day for 3 days straight. And the thing of it is, the doctor prescribed this course of treatment before even getting the test results back to determine whether or not I had a blood clot. And the results didn't come back for 3 days, so I was subjected to blood thinner medication via injection 3 times a day for 3 days. And then the test results came back, and it turned out I did not have a blood clot. And basically from that day forward, I started having a variety of pain throughout my body, obviously in my hips, my knees, my neck, and my back. I started getting migraines. I started getting radiating pains, like in my rib cage, up and down my upper thighs or my calves. And in the military, they have a tendency to treat symptoms instead of looking for a cause, at least initially. It usually takes a long time before they start focusing and zeroing in on figuring out what is causing the problem. However, due to the nature of my injuries, it made me no longer fit for duty, and I could not be deployed overseas. So as a result, I was honorably medically discharged from the United States Army, and it took almost about a year and a half from when I was in that military vehicle accident 5 weeks post-surgery. That vehicle accident was August of 2000. And the whole process took about a year and a half, and I was finally honorably discharged from the Army February 2002. However, I still had the issues of unexplained symptoms and chronic pain throughout my body, outside of the obvious injuries I sustained while in the military vehicle accident. And it took many years and many different specialists to kind of figure out what was going on. And I had 4 different medical specialists, one at the Cleveland Clinic Foundation, a rheumatologist, another rheumatologist at Metro Health, a neurologist at Metro Health, and a pain medicine and rehabilitation doctor, to connect the dots and figure out that, number one, I had arthritis in my neck, my back, both my knees and both my hips. And they also discovered that I had fibromyalgia. And so 18 years ago, this journey, my chronic pain journey started. And as time progressed, my pain became diffused. It became extremely difficult to manage. And my arthritis and my fibromyalgia it was progressing to the point that I was not responding to typical treatments for fibromyalgia, or I was having serious adverse reaction to the medications that led to such things as my face and my neck swelling, having to go to the emergency room because I developed serotonin syndrome from another medication. And they discovered, after doing 3 trials of 3 different anticonvulsant meds to kind of dampen or slow down my central nervous system, that I'm allergic to anticonvulsant meds. And such meds that are anticonvulsants that are typically prescribed for fibromyalgia is Lyrica, Tolamax, and Neurontin, and I'm allergic to all of them. And with each one I tried, my allergic reactions got worse. So that, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take those medications to manage my fibro and chronic pain. On top of that, I had arthritis in my knees and my hips, and I developed bursitis in both my hips, to the point where it was so severe, I was diagnosed with traumatic bilateral bursitis pain, disorder. And my neck and my back, the arthritis and degeneration of my discs progressed to the point where the vertebrae in my neck are completely straight. I have one disc that's kind of turned in my neck about 20 degrees. I have 3 discs in my neck that the cartilage is completely gone. My lower back is always out of alignment despite going to a chiropractor, and I have degenerative disc disease in my lower back, and I have 5 discs that have no cartilage in between. So, 18 years later, I have severe treatment-resistant fibromyalgia, and I have severe arthritis, and I have degenerative disc disease or disorder, and I have bursitis. And here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand chronic pain or how debilitating it can be, and a lot of people don't understand fibromyalgia either. And chronic pain is a major characteristic of fibromyalgia, but there's a whole bunch of other symptoms of fibromyalgia, such as chronic fatigue, insomnia, vertigo, nausea, migraines. Fibromyalgia also interferes with all of your internal bodily systems, which leads to other problems, such as Raynaud's syndrome, Clostridium chondritis, IBS, peripheral neuropathy, just to name a few. And fibromyalgia, there's a lot of people that think it's fake or it's not that bad. It's actually central nervous system disorder. And it was reclassified as a central nervous system disorder effective October 1st of 2015. And one of the things I found with my chronic pain journey and having fibromyalgia, along with developing many secondary medical conditions because I have fibro and arthritis, is that a lot of people do not understand the full effect chronic pain has on your life. chronic pain means consistent. It means it's pervasive. It means it never stops. I'm in pain every single day. Now, some days are better than others. There's a lot of bad days. Just recently, I was in the emergency room due to a migraine that I couldn't get out of control. That was about 3 weeks ago. And, you know, one of the things with chronic pain, or pain in general, if you're in pain, your blood pressure goes up. And when I was in the emergency room, my blood pressure was so high, it was 164 over 120. And they ended up treating me with like a ketamine infusion and Toradol and Reglan to get my migraine under control and get my blood pressure down, because that high of a blood pressure puts you at risk for hypertension, which could lead to stroke. So a lot of people think that fibromyalgia is not real, or it's all in our head, and a lot of people and doctors think that about chronic pain. And so as part of my pain journey story here, I wanted to share some factual information about chronic pain and fibromyalgia. So in the United States alone, it's estimated that 100 million people suffer from intractable chronic pain. And of those 100 million people, I should say, 100 million people, of those 100 million people suffering from intractable chronic pain, approximately 27.2% of those individuals of the chronic pain population suffer from suicidal ideation, attempts, or success. So almost 1/3 of 1 million people are struggling with suicide. And that's because that's how difficult it is to live with chronic pain, especially when people don't believe you, or they don't think it's that bad, or you're being inadequately treated for fibromyalgia pain or chronic pain from other issues or medical conditions. And quite honestly, statistically, the number 5 reason why people commit suicide is due to lifelong chronic pain or chronic illness. So it is a crisis amongst the chronic pain population and a high risk of suicide. Almost 1/3 of the population are at risk of suicide due to intractable, untreated chronic pain. The other thing is that in the United States, it's estimated that the cost of intractable chronic pain costs $32,000 per patient per year, and that totals actually overall to $635 billion per year. That's right, I said billion. $635 billion is the annual healthcare cost for treating individuals with chronic intractable pain. And the other scary thing about that is that cost is actually more than the yearly cost of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes combined. And then the other thing is that despite how many people are suffering from intractable chronic pain due to injuries or medical conditions such as fibromyalgia, it is found that the chronic pain population is the most undertreated and underserved medical condition in the United States. In the U.S. alone, as far as fibromyalgia goes, approximately 6 million people in the U.S. have fibromyalgia, which is a central nervous system disorder that is characterized by widespread chronic pain, meaning it is from the top of your head to the tip of your toes every day. Some days are worse than others, but we have pain every single day. It's estimated that 2 to 4% of the world's population has fibromyalgia, and this is at the same occurrence in the world as diabetes. Fibromyalgia is the number 1 diagnosed chronic pain medical condition next to rheumatoid arthritis. And despite popular belief, fibromyalgia is not fake. It is not all in our heads. It's a very tangible medically defined and documented medical condition. Actually, there's 2 blood tests now available in the United States. And those 2 blood tests, the first one is called FMA, FMA blood test, developed by Epigenetics out of California. And that blood test has been available and approved by the FDA in the United States since 2012. And the FMA blood test, since 2012, is slowly becoming available in other countries. It's currently available in Australia, Canada, Puerto Rico, parts of South America, Turkey, Israel, just to name a few. It's not yet available in the UK yet, but hopefully it'll get on the radar. A second blood test that's available to detect and diagnose fibromyalgia is called Isolate Fibromyalgia, that was developed by IQD Labs out of the state of Tennessee in the United States, and this test became available and FDA approved in January of 2018, so this year. So, you know, a lot of times people think that fibromyalgia is fake or all in our heads, but those 2 blood tests alone indicate otherwise. If it was a fake medical condition or if it was all in our heads, they would not be able to detect it and diagnose it via blood test. The other thing is that it is a central nervous system disorder, and research has shown, like back in 2013, General Massachusetts Hospital, affiliated with Harvard Medical School, they did a research study on fibromyalgia, and the outcomes they found was that in individuals with fibromyalgia, fibromyalgia causes damage to our small nerve fibers all over our body. A research study in 2016 had found that they were also looking at the progression of fibromyalgia on our nerve fibers in our body and in our eyes, and they found out that this outcome of the study discovered that fibromyalgia actually damages the small optical nerve in our eyes. And as of right now, yes, fibromyalgia is classified as a central nervous system disorder, not just in the United States, but the world classification list of medical conditions and diseases have also classified fibromyalgia as a central nervous system disorder, and the World Health Organization also classifies fibromyalgia as a central nervous system disorder. So with that being said, though, they don't know if fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disorder, like that is actually attacking our central nervous system, or if fibromyalgia is a central nervous system degenerative disease. So the jury's still out on that. They still need to do research to figure that out. Right now, you know, treatment options are very limited. Part of it is that not enough research has been done, and they don't know the cause of fibromyalgia. And the typical meds that they prescribe for fibro are Lyrica, Cymbalta, and Savella. Sometimes they prescribe Topamax or Neurontin. Sometimes muscle relaxers, sometimes pain meds, and other modalities of treatment such as chiropractic care, physical therapy. Some people get medical massage, acupuncture, Reiki, whatnot, what have you. However, research numbers, I want to say survey was done by the U.S. Pain Foundation in conjunction with the National Pain Report, found that of over 3,000 people suffering from fibromyalgia, that only approximately 40% of them found some relief taking the designated medications for fibromyalgia, which are Lyrica, Cymbalta, and Savella. So of everyone that is taking those medications, only 40% of those individuals are finding some relief, and not all relief, but some relief. And that's not, you know, with 6 million people in the United States with fibromyalgia, that's about only 2.4 million of individuals with fibromyalgia. Of that 6 million are finding any relief, and it's not full relief. And that means, you know, 3.6 million people with fibromyalgia in the United States are not finding any relief at all. And treatment options are very limited. Whether it's not covered by insurance, some more assertive treatments for fibromyalgia, or like in some states, medical marijuana is now legal, but not in all states. So we have very difficult time accessing appropriate pain management treatments. And so, with that said, I'm actually one of 6 million people suffering from a chronic pain, central nervous system, medical condition called fibromyalgia in the United States. So I'm a stat of 1 out of 6 million people who is suffering from intractable chronic pain, and I've been suffering for 18 years, and it has progressed over 18 years and has been getting worse. So with that said, I hope that you all find my pain story informational, and if so, please share this video. Also, I hope this video motivates people who are suffering from chronic pain to make their own chronic pain story video to share on their Facebook page and other social media outlets. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. And as always, I love you all. And please make sure you're making your self-care your #1 priority. And until next time, much love and butterfly kisses. And peace out, everybody. Ta-ta for now.